In this video, I will be going over the 2 leg day workout routines that I use for strength and hypertrophy. On leg day 1, we'll focus on the quads with the barbell squat and work on our explosiveness with the barbell power clean. On leg day 2, we'll have a hamstring focus and work on the barbell deadlift as our primary strength movements. Now before every leg day workout, I like to do a quick warm-up of front to back leg swings and side to side leg swings for each leg. This is so that I can dynamically stretch the leg muscles and open the hips before getting to the heavy lifts. Additionally, before doing squats or deadlifts, I recommend doing a few lighter sets before going into the working sets. Don't just immediately go into a 200-pound squat or 300-pound deadlift, or you will most likely get injured. I like to ease into my working sets by doing, say, a set of 135 pounds, then 225 pounds for deadlifts before my working set, or a set of 135 pounds before doing my squats. After the warm-up, for leg day 1, we start off with the barbell squats for 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps. Right now, I'm currently not doing that since I've irritated my piriformis muscle from overuse, so in the footage, I'm using a much lighter weight than usual. The squat variation that I do for barbell squats is the high bar variation. To perform the high bar squat, you want to have the weight rest on your upper traps, and for the grip, I like to grip the bar by aligning my index finger with the slit in the barbell. So to me, having a wider grip tends to feel more comfortable. As for the depth of the squat, I always recommend that you go to or just below parallel. I used to squat with bad form and squat about 30 degrees above parallel, and I was able to squat a very heavy weight. However, the problem with not squatting low enough is you won't get as much of a strong stretch and activation of the quads and glutes than squatting below or at parallel. I would recommend recording yourself to make sure you're squatting below parallel, because I didn't find out that I was squatting with such little depth until I recorded my own squat. To focus on explosiveness, we'll now be working on power cleans for 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps. To perform the power clean, you want to start at the bottom of a deadlift position, then quickly pull the weight off of the ground and focus on shrugging your traps and getting your elbows beneath the bar. The reason I do power cleans are so that I can improve my lower body explosiveness to get faster sprint times. You'll see many athletes that do sports like football or track train the power clean for this very same reason. If training explosiveness is not a goal for you, you can leave the exercise out entirely or train Romanian deadlifts instead to target the hamstrings. The next exercise is the Bulgarian split squats for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps to isolate the quads and to work the glutes a little bit. To get into the starting position of the exercise, you can sit on the bench and kick one foot out to find the foot position. Since we're targeting the quads with this movement, you want to maintain an upright position throughout this movement. Something to focus on with this movement is to angle your knees away from the center of your body rather than inward to maintain stability. For maximum depth, I like to touch the dumbbells to the ground to get a very strong stretch on the quads. I used to do about double my current weight with less depth, so if you're doing a suspiciously heavy amount of weight, your form is probably just trash. After doing Bulgarian split squats, we will move on to doing the machine hip thrusts for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. I know this exercise looks very sus, but trust me, this exercise is great for working the glutes and hamstrings. If you don't have a hip thrust machine, you can do barbell hip thrusts, but I find these to be more comfortable for Mr. Richard. Something to focus on with this exercise is to push as high as you can at the top position to engage the glutes more than the lower back. I like to have a wide stance at my feet to open up the hips and have a stable base during the movement. For the last quad exercise, we'll be doing leg extensions for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. To perform this exercise, you want your back against the seat and you want to grip the handles or the sides of the seat for stability. Kick your feet out and focus on activating the quads. Then lower the weight as slowly as possible back to the bottom position. I like to cheat my form a little bit for some of the exercises if I don't really feel the muscle contraction with strict form. For better form, I try to have a split-second pause at the top, but for some reps I don't always get that since I like to go as heavy as possible with this exercise. If you don't have a leg extension machine, I would recommend reverse Nordic curls as an alternative. The last hamstring exercise we'll be doing is a seated leg curl for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. I prefer seated leg curls over lying leg curls since I find seated leg curls to be more stable and I can do much more weight. To perform seated leg curls, you want to start with your legs flat out in front of you, then curl the bar focusing on hinging about the knee joint. For stability, I push myself back to where my back is flush with the seat during the movement. If you don't have a seated leg curl or lying leg curl machine, I highly recommend the Nordic curl as a bodyweight alternative. After seated leg curls, we'll be doing our calf exercises, starting with seated calf raises for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. I like to go as heavy as possible with this exercise since I don't have the best calf genetics. At the bottom position, you want your toes to be pointing up and your ankles bent. Then you push back up to parallel at the top, then gently lower back down to the bottom. I prefer going parallel rather than going above parallel for calf exercises, since I find this gives me an intense burn in the calves doing the exercise in this way. I believe this may have something to do with the recent studies on long length partials, but you can fact check that on Google if you're interested in that. The last exercise we'll be doing for leg day 1 is the standing calf extensions for 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. To perform standing calf extensions, you want to keep your head and body at center of the machine to ensure no imbalances occur between both legs. The reason we do both a seated calf raise and standing calf raise variation is to target different parts of the calf muscles. If you don't have either of these machines at the gym, I would recommend doing dumbbell or plate variations of these exercises. For leg day 2, we'll be mostly doing the same exercises but in different order, except instead of doing squats and power cleans, we'll be doing barbell deadlifts to work on strengthening the posterior chain. For deadlifts, I like to do 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps, and to perform this exercise, you want to have the bar touch your shins at the starting position, have your feet shoulder width apart, and grip the bar to where your hands are just outside the width of your feet. For this exercise, you want to focus on hinging about the hip and keep a tight core to straighten the lower back. It also helps to think of keeping the lats, traps, and back muscles engaged to maintain a straight posture throughout this movement. At the top position, you want to engage the glutes and get full extension and straighten the body. I highly recommend using a weightlifting belt if you're going heavy with this exercise, since you can get injured with this exercise if you perform it incorrectly. I also recommend using straps since your legs will most definitely be stronger than your grip strength. Now, those were the 2 leg day workout routines that I use for strength and hypertrophy. If you want to see my push day and pull day workout routines, you can find them on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. If you enjoyed this workout routine, you may also be interested in checking out the fitness app that I've been developing, Grin&Gain. Sign up for early access at grin&gain.com to track workouts and get insights into your workout routines.